All right, in our quest to build muscle mass and lose body fat, I think it's important for us to all have a better understanding of what body fat's purposes are. And this extends into mammalian physiology, not just human physiology, but in my opinion, it helps humans make better sense of their own sort of natural function if they also relate it to the larger natural world. Because us humans like to pretend that we're extra special. And while we definitely have differences, man, are we also the same. And so we are taught that body fat serves one main purpose, that it's just energy surplus when we're having a discussion about body composition and health. And that's true, it does have that one purpose in addition to many others. Body fat keeps us warm. Body fat actually is a part of the endocrine system, the hormone system. Some types of fat, of which you have multiple kinds, release hormones that perform other metabolic functions. Great example, the fat that everyone's taught to be afraid of is the white, kind of yellow adipose fat that's under our skin. There's something called brown fat. It looks brownish, and it functions similar to muscle in terms of its energy consumption, and it releases hormones that directly relate to the amount of white fat that you hold and the energy consumption that you need. So generally speaking, infants have more brown fat than adults, but adults can stimulate more brown fat production by using temperature. Ooh, I think I made another video about that, right? Temperature as a stimulus, particularly cold. So fat is part of the endocrine system, not just an energy storage surplus. Fat also is needed for the absorption of particular vitamins, A, D, E, and K, for example. Without adequate fat, you cannot absorb those vitamins, and without those vitamins, your entire system begins to shut down, particularly your immune and endocrine systems. Another layer to this fat function is protection of the organ systems. So if we all accept that we're mostly made of water, and water and oil don't mix, it only makes sense that when the body has stuff it can't quickly get rid of, it would trap it inside fat molecules. So some of the white fat that we all hold is actually there not just as energy surplus, but as a form of protection from poisoning ourselves from the crap we allowed to come in. All of us have a lot of things coming in, myself included. What largely is trainable is not just what you allow to come in, but also how efficient your detoxification systems are getting it out. One of the reasons why I'm leaner than some is not just how I eat and train, but how I operate my detoxification pathways to allow my body to get things out of it that were trapped in my fat cells so they can be processed and removed. Because if things were stored in the water, they would go to all the different organ systems, and you'd have multiple organ failure over a long period of time with various toxins building up faster than they're able to be removed. Now, this not only offers a potential story as to why some people can't or are not consistently losing the white fat that they're trying to lose, right? Because if you've been thinking this as just a calorie math issue, well, that's only true if the amount of toxins that are coming in are about the same as those going out. So if there's more bad stuff coming into you, your body is going to find other energy to burn that's not fat, and instead utilize the fat as protection mechanisms to maintain your health and your life. And so sometimes one of the reasons people don't lose body fat is because there's too much bad stuff coming in and their detoxification pathways are crappy. So they've been treating it as a math problem with calories, when instead it's an actual, it's an organ system kind of optimization problem. So, generally speaking, things that improve detoxification improve fat loss over time. But that's not necessarily an energy deficit equation. This brings us also to talking about the type of food we're putting in us. If it's true that fat protects us from toxins and is a storage location of those things, and it's true in mammals as well. Imagine the cow that you bought at your local grocery store. Its fat, assuming it was raised in the USDA food lot, its fat is likely has more negative things in it, toxins, than say a grass-fed, grass-finished cow that was able to live an entirely different life than the USDA food cow. So what that means is, as consumers, if we in our own bodies accept that fat is not just about managing energy, but also helping get the bad stuff out and protecting us temporarily from the bad stuff that's in us, then the animals we consume should have similar healthy fats to help us. So if we're eating a crappy cow at the local grocery store from the USDA food lot that was essentially poisoned and drugged before it was slaughtered for its entire life, the fat we consume on that cow, as much as I love ribeye at a local restaurant, I gotta be real with myself and know that that fat in that ribeye is probably not the best for me. But if I buy that cow from the local grocer, from the local farmer, and it's been raised naturally in its normal environment with grass, pastures, and not pumped full of drugs, well then that's a different cow with a different level of toxic stress to it before it was slaughtered. So the fat in that cow is full of vitamins that I need for consumption and way less likely to have a high dose of these toxins. People get caught up in these words toxins because I honestly think people want to pretend like they have everything figured out. But toxins is just a generic word to refer to something that's came inside of us, and over time it will be deleterious. That could have got into us from air, water, soil, food. It doesn't matter. All right, it's just a word. Don't get caught up in its usage, but understand that as much as some of these researchers love to pretend like those are not things, you have entire organ systems in your body meant to literally do that one job. Ironically, they teach that, but then disparage the conversation around toxins.